Overview. This is what I got out of the public hearings of 312, 325. It seemed to be there was strong support for an elected chief executive mayor. Also, it seemed that the recall provision should be included in this charter, and the tax collector should be elected. Reason for some of the above suggestions I found was lack of accountability in the town government, limited voice of the voters, no separation of powers. And some examples of poor leadership: mass resignation of the Zoning Board of Appeals last summer, vote of the citizens to leave the Cape Cod Commission denied by the council, and the need for more public comment at both town council and charter commission meetings. Thank you.
It was my impression last night that we had decided that we weren't going to be taking votes tonight.
I haven't asked for any votes.
Okay, no, I'm just saying that. And I did just, Debbie just called me. You probably said that she wasn't going to be able to be here. Right. Yeah, she called and she said she'd left you a message. But I did tell her that because she seemed to be concerned about that.
Okay. I'd like you to know that I am gone from the first to the...
Was the desire for an elected chief executive. And no matter what you do, you have an elected chief executive. Some people do 5 part-time selectmen. They still have a town administrator, chief executive, or chief administrator, excuse me, chief administrator. But the executive branch is headed by either a multiple of elected people or a singular elected person. And the one consistent thing, I didn't get into too much of the points that other people made about what they heard at the hearing. One thing I heard loud and clear from all of the various people that had strong opinions, pro-mayor, anti-mayor, they don't like the council president. I think I heard almost virtually, and I took very good notes on every single person that spoke in both hearings. Every person, time and time again, said they don't like the elected council president. It's confusing to them. It bleeds the two branches together. It seems like there's two heads of state. They don't like it. So I would beg to differ, Mr. Chairman, in using that term head administrator. I would like to, no matter what happens, I want an administrator running this place. But at the same time, I want somebody above that person who is the chief executive elected. And again, I agree with Sheila. I don't care what title that person has. But I want the chief executive to be elected. I would almost prefer to call them, if I was to choose a title, chief executive, elected. And the great thing about Massachusetts, the one place where the state doesn't come down in our heads and jam it on us like they do everything else, is they allow us creativity. We could, in a home rule charter, it would be the only one in the state, but why not? We got 5 fire districts. We're good at being unique. Let's say the top person, chief executive, is elected, and just call them the chief executive. And then you're still going to have a town manager simultaneously, and nobody's going to be confused who the head person is. They're the elected one, and there won't be any confusion about having solid professional administration, because you're still going to have that too, and you're not going to spend more money.
That's going to be very important, and through you, Mr. Chair, is for our consultant to give us some transitional language and tell us what you need from us to help you do that, because we got to do that right away, I think. And the other is, I mean, I don't know, I don't want to have any votes on major changes, but I would certainly think I don't think anybody would be against a motion of putting the recall back into the charter, would they, tonight?
No, I think there's a lot of things that you can put back in that maybe were taken out that everybody basically agreed on. You know, the obvious thing that I have to remind everyone as the chair is that at some point we've got to decide that this is the basis we're working on, or it's not. And if we keep putting that decision off, we're going to run into a problem. At what point are we going to say there is or there is not a chief elected official? I mean, I'm sorry, but that's my first domino.
Have we not already said it?
That's fine. And then if that's the case, I'm going to go move forward from there. Okay? Greg.
Chief domino needs to be decided with a full with everyone here. That's too big a decision to make with 3 people out of 9 not here. That's
Great.
I mean, I know
the
that
next
makes
time
it
you're
hard.
going to have 9 support.
If I make a motion, if I make a motion, what I need to be clear on, which I'm perfectly ready and willing and able to make a motion, but with 6 out of 9 members here, what then will be of any, which you started to allude to just now, motion to reconsider? Because you're going to have 3 additional members. 1/3 of the body are going to be here at some point, even if it's after April 13th. There are 3 other people that, and it's not about them, it's about the voters that sent them to this body.
Greg,
Sent
you're
them
not
to
going to
this
get an
board.
argument from me. I'm just giving you the reality of the situation. You know, we should have come up with this document a year ago and then had those public hearings.
And I recommended that as a member of the public.
The roadshow got a majority.
Give people something to react to. I said that over and over and over.
Okay. But I want to repeat, this is the reality. Greg, I personally think you lay out a motion and see what these 6 people do.
Well, my motion would be simply to change the document per the input we heard to add, and obviously there's going to be details afterwards, but to add an elected chief executive for the title to be determined separately.
Do I have a second?
Just to have an elected chief executive.
Do I have a second? Motion on the floor to make a change so that there is a chief executive officer elected at large by the voters of Barnstable. That's the motion on the floor. That paraphrase it? Okay. We're having discussion on that. And then I will call for a vote. Any further discussion? John.
Public hearings that I attended and listening to people, I did hear quite a few people say that they're in favor of a mayor, but maybe we take a cue from the Indians, we'll just call him chief. But I am still not convinced totally that the way we've got it set up will make that much difference in the conduct of affairs, whether he's elected at large or however it's done, because the main man still I still see it as the town manager, but maybe I'm wrong. The thing that still troubles me is that these 2 hearings, it drew probably a total, counting the people that went to both hearings, maybe about 60, 70 people total. Out of a town of 50,000 people, not all of them vote, that's pretty pathetic. And I can't say that I'm totally swayed by the same people saying the same things over and over again. I'd like to hear from different people, and that's just my own personal point of view.
I'm going to call for a vote. Sheila? No. Bob?
No.
John? Greg?
Yes.
Sue?
No.
Roy? No. I would vote no. Greg, we have 6-1. Now, no matter how many other people were sitting here, I think what we have to say is we've closed that fork in the road. And so I'd like to keep now going back to what other items that were brought up at the public hearings. Okay?
Is there any public comment allowed?
There is not.
None at the end of the meeting?
None at the end of the meeting.
Okay, well, I'm going to publicly tell you, Mr. Clark, we will have another petition, and this petition will be on the ballot in November.
Very good, sir.
You have
Thank you.
betrayed every voter in this town. All
That's enough.
everyone
That
here.
is enough.
That's enough. That is enough.
Yes.
We'll see. You have betrayed every voter in this town.
Thank you very much.
This is a disgrace.
Okay.
Mr. Richardson didn't even sit in for 99% of this meeting.
That's enough.
Good night, Mr. Clark.
I thank you for saying good night.